welcome to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat, and what happened to the weather? I certainly hope none of you were affected by the storms this past weekend. Let us know if you have been, and so we can, I don't know what, think about you, pray for you, whatever it takes. Lots of wind and rain and tornadoes and flooding and hail. Oh my goodness, we had hail here. We had some hail that was probably, I don't know, quarter sized, not quite golf ball sized, and a lot of it. I don't know if we have any damage. I don't see any damage anywhere. Of course, you can't see roof damage until you get on the roof and look, so maybe we'll have to get a roof inspection or something soon just to make sure. Fortunately, all of our vehicles, including the trailer and all of that, was under roof, so none of that sort of hail damage to our vehicles, so thank goodness for that. I know that around here that was one of the major things as far as damage goes. People had a lot of damage to their cars that either they didn't have a garage or they were out somewhere or something like that. So, yeah, I hope all of you all are well and safe now. It's turned cold again. Can you believe it? Last week I was just ready for spring and summer, and, you know, we'd turn that corner from winter to spring, but I don't think so. Now it is supposed to warm back up this week. I think on Tuesday it's supposed to be in the 70s, but right at the moment it is 44 degrees with a feels like of 30. So I've had to make several trips back into the house, and I didn't bring a jacket. And it's been brutal just going from here to there, which is like, I don't know, 50, 60 feet. Yeah, so that's what's going on here. This is Sunday afternoon for me, so it's, you know, getting towards evening time, so it's not getting any warmer today. But hopefully, being a Monday for you right now, that the sun is popping out and we can just move forward from all of this crazy weather. And hopefully spring really will show up here pretty soon. The calendar says so, doesn't it? Okay, so what did I do this weekend, apart from what I told you on Friday? I did get back into my twizzle blocks a little bit. I did my last number 2 block, which was 4 of those. So I have that. I didn't put it together. I have all the pieces. I didn't put it together because I ran out of one of my prints. I thought I would have enough for those number 2 blocks out of this one particular print that I had I have 2 different prints for this one wedge. And, you know, I'm kind of hoping all of these will all coordinate together, but I was hoping I would have an even number to come out, but for some reason I was one short. So I don't know if I need to redo that wedge with, you know, find the fabric that I ran out of and make a wedge for it, or just go with what I've got and just go on to the next pile of that same color family. I know that didn't make a bit of sense to you if you're not making this this quilt, but I did start on the number 3 blocks, and I'm into putting the wedges, making the wedges for the number 3, the first number 3 block. Oh my goodness, you just so don't know what I'm talking about. I know it, but that's what I was doing. I got both Peaceful Baskets blocks done, number 10 and number 11, so I'm just waiting for the next Sew Sampler box to get number 12 done, and then I can go on to the finishing, whatever that happens to be. What I've seen is there's some sort of like square and a square with a sawtooth star kind of thing all together. Like the middle is a square and a square, and then the star points, the star legs. So there will be more to do on that project even after I get that 12th block done. But at least now I'm waiting on it, and it's not waiting on me. So that's a plus. That's a plus. What else did I do? Oh, I got to looking at this little well, let me show you this first. I did 3 5 and dime blocks, or speedy squares, whichever name you prefer. Did that one, and I did this one and this one. Yeah, so I did 3 of those just to warm me up one day. I don't know if it was, I think it was Saturday I did those. And then also I got all curious into this book that May sent me. So I came up after dinner, I think it was Friday night I did this. And I thought, I'm just going to mess around with this book. It looks like a very nice book, and it's got all these 365 blocks, 1 page per block. And, you know, I saw that strawberry when I was showing you the book the other day. This is it right here. And I saw something about templates. Well, it was the stem. It was a stem. The stem is an applique. And I knew that. And I was like, no, I just want to do something really simple right now. So I went over, I noticed at the top of the page, it mentions some other fruit blocks. So I went over to the pineapple block. And that's the one that I made. Kind of cute. I didn't have exactly the right yellows and oranges that you imagine in all this fabric. I didn't have the right yellows and oranges to make a pineapple block, but it was close enough. Close enough. Here. Y'all saw it on Facebook. But I want to talk about this book. This book this is an interesting book, as well as just a block to make a day. But it uses templates for some of the just squares. And I was like, I'm not using templates. There's several pages in the back that are templates. Like 5 pages of templates. And it was actually even wanting you to use a 2.5 inch block template. And I'm thinking, I'm not using a 2.5 inch block template. I know how to cut a 2.5 inch square. And then this was templates. This was actually 2 templates. There was one that had you go this way and put your white on, and one that went this way and put your white on. Well, by modern standards, why couldn't I just make that one whole piece and do a stitch and flip on each end? So that's what I did. I had to do a little bit of math, and I especially had to do some math for this one to get it straight on top. But it turns out to be a 12.5 inch block, and I could see that when I was looking at the instructions. I could see that, oh, this is going to be a 12.5 inch block if these are 2.5. And so I just did my math from there. It was easy. So the only thing I had to figure out was, okay, so this is going to be, I need 4.5 this way, plus whatever this would come out to be. Well, 2, 4, 6, it's 8. So I had 8.5 total, but then I had to figure out, okay, so what's this, to make sure I put the right size square on the end to do the stitch and flip. I know a bunch of you know what I'm talking about, but do I really need to use templates for these? And then I looked at the copyright again, and yes, this book was made in 2015. And I'm thinking, were we really using templates for 2.5 inch squares of fabric even that far back? I mean, that's just, what, 11 years, 10 years? That's just 10 years ago. Surely we've come farther than that with the templates. But, interestingly, the other blocks, the other fruit blocks that I want to do, the strawberry, the plum, and the pear, also have just regular patchwork instructions. But this one didn't. Isn't that weird? I thought it was weird. Maybe I'm missing something here. But I want to show you the other 2 that I want to do. Pear is on page 144. And here is the pear. This is cute, isn't it? I know I have the greens for that. But then it does have, there are some parts of it. It's calling for a template, but it does say prepare the patches rotary method or template cutting. So This one is one, it's either. You could do it either way. But I'm thinking again, I could figure the math out on that without using templates. But they do have the measurements on this one. The other one is, what page? The plum is on page 229. I'm going to make all these fruit just for fun. Here's the plum. That's a tall plum, isn't it? But it's cute. And I don't know if I have those purples, but I'll look and see what I got that's close enough. So I'll make the strawberry. I have the pineapple. I'll make the strawberry, the pear, and the plum. And I'll make like a little, I don't know what, a little wall hanging or something. That's 4. That could make a cute square wall hanging, couldn't it? So I'll just do that for fun in my spare time. And then just do some of the other ones here and there. There's a heart in here. That's easy. There's a heart. Easy, easy. A basket. And then all the other types of blocks that are pretty easy to do. Turn dash. You know, all of those, among others. Card trick, 9-patch, all of that. So this will be a fun little book to play with. Palette cleansing. That's what I call it. Palette cleansing. Now, it took me about an hour to do this because I came up here thinking I'm going to do a palette cleanser just to kind of, you know, after doing those 2 peaceful baskets, I think I had done 1 at that point. I thought, I just want to do something easy. Not that the peaceful baskets are hard, but they just take me forever to do. And so, yeah, I came up here to do a palette cleanser, but it turned out to be a full-blown project nearly. Anyway, such is the life of a quilter, right? And someone who sews is you're always, well, creative people in general, you know, we're always looking for inspiration and, you know, we like new projects and doing different things. So I just had to do something different. Anything else I worked on? Let me look at my little calendar journal here. Oh, I've been doing the scrap processing on my mother-in-law's stash, and I need your opinion on something. So let me take the camera over and show you what I've been doing and what I've been thinking, because I got my little hashtag quilt health thing out, and I was going to talk about this, but I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I am going to talk about number 4, which is boundaries. And boundaries has to do with, are we keeping our rooms, our sewing areas, you know, it's okay to have things to capacity, but we don't want to go beyond our boundaries and have things on the floor, stacked on tables, in bags and boxes, and we don't know what's in it. That's what we do not want. That is not healthy for our quilt health. So let me show, because you know there's an issue here. I've got this stash and it's a pretty decent sized one, so I need to figure out where this is going to go if I'm going to keep it, and I certainly want to keep it. And so yeah, let me take the camera and I'll show you what I'm thinking about. Okay, so here is some of the stash that I've dealt with already, and these are pieces that I have laundered and ironed and folded onto boards and stacked, like the bigger pieces of yardage that are, let's say, 3 or more yards. I've been laying those like that, and that's how I'll store those. I have room for those. These are the ones that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, and there's going to be more of this. There's probably going to be this much more at least of it. Now that's not counting, these are half yards on top. The fat quarters, 5-inch and 10-inch. I have found someone who will help me with that. So that's going to get processed, and I need to make room for that too. But anyway, here is where I'm going to need your help. Okay, so here's where I keep my rolled fabric. That's all I have on boards right there. And then I have in that top right, I have layer cakes, and then in the middle row I have one bin that has some jelly rolls in it, and then down here I have 3 bins that have just pre-cuts sitting in there pretty. The 3 bins on the top are odd pieces of black and white, my batik stash, and then this fleece and flannel bin, which I'll be honest, I haven't touched that fabric that's in there for anything for probably 5 to 10 years. I keep it, but I don't use it. And there's just a few pieces in, well, it's full. You can see that it's full at the top. But you know how fleece can be. It doesn't take very much at all to fill it up. So I may be eliminating that bin. Maybe. Completely. Which means I would either donate it or share with someone. Something like that. The batiks, I think I can find another place for that. And the black and white. If worse come to worse, I could take those 3 bins and leave them as they are and put them down here in these 3 right here. And then I have this section over here that could use some revamping. Okay, so that little hanging basket in the middle that has some fabric in it, that is a bag project that I haven't done yet. And there's a project bag and then another small project bag project there, that yellow thing. That's a project bag I never finished because I cut it the wrong size. There's a story. Anyway, I can take those 2 packages of batting that are up against the wall into the house, and then maybe I could consolidate the rest of it onto one of those shelves and then put my pre-cuts over here, like where this bottom shelf is before the hangers. Oh, and that's another thing. Back when I did my shed tour, I didn't have my panels hanging on hangers yet because I needed to get some hangers. They're hanging on hangers and I love that. Anyway, that would mean that all of this pre-cut stuff, among others, would go over here on one of these shelves, and maybe that hanging bin right there. These 3 bins would go down here, and then this stash would go up on these 4 bins up here, cubicles. What do you call them? Cubes. What are they called? Cubes. Cube storage. Yes, called cube storage. I also have some empty boxes up here. Now that one says kits on it, and it does have a little something in it. I could probably relocate those and maybe put the scrap batting up there. Yeah. Anyway, you guys think about that. You always have great ideas. I thought maybe all of her rolled fabric could stay on the top. And then also the smaller pieces that I come out with, maybe I would have a bin or a clear bin or something like that for that up there too. I don't know. Or should I mix hers in with mine? I don't know. I can't decide. Anyway, give me an idea. So there's that. So I have been working on all of that to say. I've been working on scrap processing or fabric processing. I guess you'd call it stash processing. Yeah, I still have those other 2 boxes to unload. And then I still have a stack in my house that needs to be washed and done up. I don't know if it would all fit up there or not even. But boundaries. Hashtag quilt health. How am I going to stay within my boundaries? Do you have any ideas? Don't worry about the flat fold fabric. I do have room for it. But it's all the rest of it that I need to find places for. Everything's comfortable in here right now. But not to say that I couldn't rearrange some things and get all of that to fit comfortably without feeling like things are overstuffed. Because I do want it. I do want all of it. And I wanted to allay some of your all's fears about just throwing things away. I'm not just throwing things away. I'm not throwing anything away. So I'll figure out, that stack that was to my left in that video, that I was saying I'm going to have to let that go, whatever. It's not stuff that's going to be thrown away. It's just stuff that I need to figure out, you know, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to donate it? Am I going to, you know what? There might be a little bit of trash there, just paper trash, but I'm not throwing anything away. I don't want to throw anything away. Yeah. That's what's going on with that. I'm having fun with that. I didn't realize I would have so much fun with it. But washing it, I've been pinking the edges, and well, I'm going to leave all that for this part 2 video, because I have clips of things of how I've got to that point and what else I'm going to do with it all, just to kind of end that whole project of finding a place for the stash, dealing with the stash, getting the stash in the condition that I want it to be in, and putting it away. So that's going to be the part 2 video. I don't think it'll be this week. It might be the following week. But also, on another subject, well, first of all, on that subject, I told you I think I have someone that's going to help me with dealing with those smaller pieces. I'm going to have her cut me out fat quarter size pieces of the smaller sections of fabric that have odd pieces cut out of it. I'm going to try to get the fat quarters out of that, and also 5-inch and 10-inch, whatever she can make it come out. So I have someone that's going to do that for me, and she's coming by today, Monday, to get it. And so yeah. But the other thing I was getting ready to tell you about was that Mark has been working on his quilt pattern that he made on EQ8, and his quilt is almost done. It is a very small quilt. It's not exactly, you know, a tiny quilt or anything. It's pretty good size. You know, it's probably like 40 by 60, 48 by 60 or something like that. But he's almost done with it. So the sewing. So he's made a bunch of video clips and stuff too of him doing that. So that's going to be shared pretty soon. I'm also going to have an interview with Mark, probably a Wednesday video, or it might be included in a Monday quilt chat pretty soon. And what our plans are, I want to assure you nothing's going to change with this channel right here. So you can kind of imagine maybe what's going to happen, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, he's almost done with his quilt, so you'll be seeing some videos of his quilt here pretty soon. And yeah, and there's so much more I want to tell you about that, but I'm just not ready yet. Not ready. It's not ready to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole quilt health thing, because we talked so much about the boundaries with this new little adventure I have over here. And I'm going to keep working on that. I'm going to keep working on that and Twizzle and other projects. Keep things in motion. Need to get back to some of the other little projects I have going on here. So we'll be seeing more of that. I have a block. I received a Batiks Blues Batik block letter, and it is from a state we don't have. It is from New Hampshire, and this is Brenda from New Hampshire. She sent a light lilac-y and then purplish there, so there's 2 of those. So I have my New Hampshire block. That was way over here. See that little purple one right there? That's where Brenda is, and thanks to her we have a New Hampshire set of blocks. So we're still waiting for Vermont over here. Vermont! If you, hey, if somebody's going to send one from Vermont, can you send me some syrup? Just kidding. No, I really would like some syrup, but I am just kidding. Montana, let's see. Somebody told me they're sending from Iowa and North Dakota, and I think it was Montana. Still haven't heard anything from Connecticut and New Mexico. So there we go. Last call. Montana, North Dakota, Iowa, Colorado, New Mexico, Vermont. 2, 4, 6. 6 states we need. I know some of them are coming. Okay, so let's get to our quilt of the week, our art quilt. I'll leave a picture for you right here. And it's called Peace in Harmony. Peace, like P-I-E-C-E-D, in Harmony. This is a little quilt. It's 31 by 34. And it's by Susan Buckingham of Sharon, Wisconsin. It says, this quilt features an original design that's based on the Maria Schell style of quilts. Maria Schell. S-H-E-L-L. We'll have to look her up. Susan here used cotton fabrics and backing as well as poly threads and batting to create the quilt. The most difficult part of the quilt was getting the components to cohesively fit together. Yeah, I took a few moments to look at this, and I see that she has 4 blocks in the corner there that are similar. Of course, they're the same size. And then she has the asymmetrical, I guess you could call it asymmetrical, off to the left there, the big block. I would call that the big center block, but it's not centered. And then she has a short strip at the top and a longer strip at the bottom, and then between those, all of those little smaller ones right there, the same size as the center block. And then between her 4 blocks, she has a row, not the, well, at the top and the bottom and the left side. So yeah, I can see how that was kind of a jigsaw puzzle sort of thing to put together, but I think the effect is really good. Love the colors. And then that matchstick quilting she did. Wow. And at first I thought, oh, this is a bed quilt and they did matchstick quilting on it. Wow, that's a lot of stitching. But then when I saw it was 31 by 34, it made sense. So this makes a really nice wall size quilt, and I love that matchstick quilting. You could run that horizontal or vertical, it would look great. So, you know, you can take your orphan blocks and do things like this with it too. I started an orphan block quilt off the record here because I didn't show any of you anything about it, but it was just a mood I was in one day here, I don't know, a few months ago, and I got my orphan blocks out and started putting things together, and that's kind of the thing that she has going on here with her quilt, although it's definitely, you know, she chose to use solids and, you know, all these different colors put together, whereas mine was just, you know, orphan blocks. It could have been anything. So this one's coordinated really well. Anyway, I'll have to show you that one day, and maybe I'll work on it some more and get it to a point where I'll feel like making a video about it. Okay, that is all. So, I don't know what you're up to this week, but you need to do a little bit of sewing, get in your sewing quilting room, and work on those projects you got going. I see a lot of you on Facebook that are such avid quilters. Oh my goodness, you're doing something every week from start to finish. I don't know how you do it. And then some of you are really good at starting a lot of projects. Well, I'm good at that. Starting a new project and then just keeping them all going at the same time. I know there's some of you that do that like I do. You know, just kind of jump around from project to project, lay one down for a while and then pick it back up later on and that sort of thing. So if you're not in the Facebook group, there's a link in the description box of all my videos if you want to go see what's going on over there. You might get a sneak peek of things from me once in a while over there if you like that sort of thing. Like that pineapple block, I put that on there. My 2 Peaceful Baskets blocks are on there. If you're one that doesn't mind being, you know, having a spoiler alert for Finish It Friday, you can go join the Facebook group and see things over there. I'm kind of strange in that people that I follow on YouTube, if they have a Facebook, I don't want to be on their Facebook, because if they show me stuff that they're doing on their Facebook and then I see it later on in a video, I feel like I've already seen it. You know what I mean? Are you like that? I don't know. It's just me. No, I'm sure there's some of you like that too. I just don't like spoilers at all. At all. So anyway, yes, this week we are ready. We are charged up. We are inspired. I have questions that I left you with that I need answers for. So help me out here. Let me know what I are to do about this fabric stash over here. And look for new videos. There'll be something out on Wednesday. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but you will have something. And then back again on Finish It Friday to see what I finished and what you finished. So have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. And I will be back to talk to you soon. Bye.